guys, me, your host Superstar. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas and we're getting ready, going towards the new year. And it's that time of year again where I like to look back and reflect upon 2020 and think to myself, what were my favourite action figures of this year? Now, I'm going to reveal to you my top 10. I've gone through my collection and stain picking process, which because there's so many of them. But I want to say, this is based on my opinions, my collection, and my thoughts. This isn't a definitive, this is the top 10 list of 2020. Every YouTuber likes to make their own list, and this is mine. This is from my favourites. So, because usually I do this and I get loads of hate comments down below saying, how can you forget this, how can you forget that? It's like I haven't forgot them, it's just that I might not own them, or I might not have reviewed them. These are only figures that I would have purchased and reviewed. So, there are some figures that are on the floor that may have made this list that haven't got reviewed yet. So, just bear that in mind. I'm also going to do a follow-up video to this, which were my top 10 most disappointing figures of this year, and things that I would have liked to have seen better this year. That's still to come. But for now, I want to go through my top 10 action figures of 2020 that I've chosen. I can't say that enough, because I hate when people start saying to me, that's not the best thing. It's like, it's my decision. So, without further ado, I've chosen my top 10, and this is controversial for a lot of people, but number 10 is Mando. So, on the top of my list this year, it's the Mandalorian. He's had a very good year. We've seen a lot of Mandalorian this year on Disney Plus, and I'm loving the series and everything. Everything about Mandalorian is awesome, and I'm loving it. So I'm very happy to have this on my list because he is awesome. And loving this figure. This is the Black Series figure. As you remember, I actually got two of these because I got given one by Hasbro and I bought my own. So I ended up selling my other one to a friend. But yeah, Beskar Mando. There is the original Mandalorian, but I'm going to go with the Beskar Mando. He was an absolute beast of a figure this year, and I think a lot of people would agree. Whether they got this version, or whether they got the version with Baby Yoda in it. Sorry, the child. Grogu. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're a fan of Mandalorian, you definitely have this figure in your collection, let's put it that way. I don't know, everyone's probably expecting me to have this at number 1. No. Number 9. So number 9 in my collection, McFarlane's Spawn. This was an amazing figure this year. I really like this figure. I've been waiting for a good Spawn figure for some time, and there's been so many. I know there's that new one that's on been on Kickstarter, and people have it now, I think. But this one for me was like a great Spawn this year. It was by McFarlane, who I think have had a brilliant year with DC. They've done some amazing figures and some great things, and this was one of them for me. It was so hard to get hold of at the time as well. Some people were upset because some people got swords, some people got hammers. I think was it an axe at one point? They kept changing the accessory throughout the year, didn't they? And putting up new pre-orders, so it was weird. Some people got the sword, some people got the axe, but I got the sword. And I'm very happy to say that Spawn is definitely in my collection, and he's one of my favourites. I very much love this figure. I think, like I said, McFarlane did a great job. The ruffles on the cape and everything like that, it's so good. Love this figure. Number 8. Number 8, guys, we have Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano, definitely, again, another controversial choice. You guys probably thought this was going to be higher in my collection. She's wobbly already, by the way. I've only had her a few months. Not even a few months. So this is the Clone Wars version of Ahsoka. We're still waiting on that definitive Mando one. But for now, this is the awesome Ahsoka from Clone Wars. It's very much, for me, this is the definitive Ahsoka. I love the original release from Rebels. But this one for me, I'm loving the actual face sculpt this time around. It's a lot nicer, the skin tone's a lot better, the lightsabers are nice, although I wish they were the clear ones rather than the blue. But that's in keeping with Clone Wars. But yeah, such a great figure, and it's nice to see a great new Ahsoka figure. Can't wait to see more of her in 2021, let's put it that way. So yeah, hope we get another release of her real soon as well, given what we've seen this year. Number 7. Again, for an action figure list, this could be seen as controversial, but I don't think so. I like to consider the toy box action figures, action figures, and I can include them in this list. So I want to actually include everyone's favourite mouse, Sorcerer Mickey. When he got announced this year, I've never seen as many people want this figure in my life. So many people got excited for Sorcerer Mickey, and I can't wait for the new sort of highly articulated version to come out of Sorcerer Mickey. That should be with us in the new year. I can't wait to review that. But yeah, given the fact that we had a bit of a poor year, I think Mickey really helped this year. We had a great action figure here, and like I said, my review went out around the internet like wildfire, and people really enjoyed it. People definitely, everyone that I knew said they were getting one of these. Even some of the like diehard Star Wars collectors were like cooing over a Mickey Mouse, you know what I mean? So I like when a little bit of magic like that can just, any collector is like, yes, I need a Mickey in my collection. And I think we all love Sorcerer Mickey. And the fact that it was Fantasia's anniversary this year, 80th year, that was a great time to release him. So definitely, if you haven't got one already, grab a Sorcerer Mickey from your local Disney store. Number 6. Sugar Man. I think Sugar Man's probably one of the best baths we've had in a long time, and I never got around to reviewing the rest of this wave. I'm not sure if I did end up reviewing Sugar Man, I can't actually remember at this point. But either way, Sugar Man was a great bath figure to get. I've never seen as many people get excited about a bath. So many people were buying the series and they didn't even want the rest of the collection, they just wanted the Sugar Man. And let's not forget the guys over on Marvel Legends Community UK hooked everyone up with the Sugar Man tattoo. I never actually got one, I regret that now. But yeah, everyone had the Sugar Man tattoos put on the figures as well, which was awesome. So yeah, it's just, this was a great bath figure, and I think Marvel need to learn from that and realise what, you know, even the most obscure characters in Marvel history, people want them. So definitely Sugar Man, an iconic bath for this year. It was hard to choose. I only wanted to include one. Like, I'm trying to include figures from different lines and things like that. I think I didn't want to just flood it full of Marvel Legends. Otherwise, because that would be a list in its own. There's been so many good releases this year from Marvel. I could make a top 10 list of just Marvel, to be honest. And the same with McFarlane. I could do just a top 10 DC list this year. But moving on. So after the Sugar Man, I've got to say, our next figure is another big fig. Coming in at number 5, it's the Devastator from McFarlane and DC's Dark Knights. So this is an awesome figure from Dark Knight Metal. This was an absolute beast of a figure when I got it. Everyone got excited for the review. So many people tuned in and watched. And yeah, it's just an amazing, like, what if, you know, and it's just a great figure, and it was just an absolute monster to review. That's so articulated, and for a figure so big, it was so sturdy when it stood. I was expecting him to fall over all the time and be banging into my desk and knocking my collection over, but he's been one of the sturdiest figures I've owned. And do you know what I liked about it as well? They included these little plastic pieces around the shoulder hinges to hide the hinges, so that when you rotate his arm outwards or anything, you can't see the back of the ball hinge. I really like that. That's a great addition. And the fact that you could move the jaw as well was a great thing. So you could make him shout, scream, grimace, anything you wanted was possible. Such an awesome figure, and again, I think it's another underrated figure for this year, and I think a lot of people have got this now in their collections, but I think there's a lot of people out there that haven't managed to find one or pick one up, so definitely grab one if you haven't already. I love this figure, and I think it's definitely worthy of a place in top 10 of 2020. Alright guys, coming in at number 4, it's a recent figure release. Well, not recent as in for my channel reviewing wise, it's a Lord Drakon Evo 3. I would have gone for the original Lord Drakon, but he wasn't released this year, but this one was, and it was a great figure. I've only just got around to reviewing it recently, and I regret not opening it sooner. It's such an awesome figure. I love the fact that his cape is like windswept. That's really nice, and I'm loving the gold on the black there. Such a great addition to the Power Rangers line, and that's another thing I want to talk about in my disappointments for this year, is how little we've really received from Power Rangers. I think they could do a lot more with that line that they're not doing right now at Hasbro. I know it's still in its infancy and they're still testing the waters and things, but come on, do we have to get entire waves of Power Rangers every time? Throw in a couple of baddies or throw in something else. Anyway, I'll talk about that on my secondary video that I'm going to do. But yeah, Lord Drakon definitely deserves a place, and he is number 4, quite high up on my list. But I think these last couple of choices will either make or break this list for some people. Next up though, coming up from the bayous of Florida, the Fiend, let me in. For me, this is a great addition. I've been following Bray Wyatt's career for some time, right from back in the days of when he was known as Husky Harris. So I mean, I've been wanting to see this guy do well for quite a while, and he really made it with the Eater of Worlds, and when he became Bray Wyatt, the cult leader sort of thing. I love that, but I think he's hit it out of the park with the Fiend character. And when they announced this figure, I got so excited. I really can't wait for them to make another one. I know they're going to do a new, I think they've got a new basic on the way of the Fiend, but I can't wait for them to make another, like, proper in-depth figure, maybe in that, is it called the Ultimate line? I'd love to see them make one in that, with a removable mask or something. That would be cool, or at least with a regular Bray Wyatt head or something. That would be sick. And of course, now he's got Alexa Bliss as kind of, you know, sort of a Sister Abigail sort of character. And yeah, I just can't wait to see where they go with his character in the next year. And the fact that they made a figure this year, I've got the Firefly Funhouse figure still to review from Ringside Collectibles. That's in my pile, still to review. So hopefully I can get that out. Maybe you'll have seen that before this video goes live. I'm not sure how quickly I'm going to be able to get through some stuff. But yeah, this is definitely worthy of being on my list for this year. I got so excited. It took me a long time to find him as well. He got announced quite, like, in around, what was it, summertime when these came out, or just before summer? And then it took me all the way until about a month ago to find him, just before Halloween. So, happy that I finally got one, let's put it that way. Okay, number 2 on my list. It's Logan. The Marvel Legends finally gave us Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So I'm very happy to have this in my collection. This is my sort of kit bashed version. I've put the dog chains around him, I've put the bloody claws on there, and all the bits don't go with this exact figure. But using all 3 of the Logans, I was able to make my definitive Wolverine here. This is what I'll remember for Hugh Jackman, especially from that Logan movie. Sort of a grizzled veteran Wolverine, and I love it. Love this figure, and the fact that we finally got Deadpool and Cable, and we still need Colossus, but they gave us most of the Deadpool figures as well. I just hope they continue and give us some more iconic figures from the Fox movies. But yeah, Hugh Jackman was definitely one we needed, and I'm glad we got quite a few releases. I know a lot of people saw it as, oh, more Wolverine, but for us Wolverine fans, Hugh Jackman, we've been waiting for a Hugh Jackman release for so long, so I'm so happy this came out. Who could be number 1 on my list? Who could be number 1? And I can see everyone out there thinking, it's going to be Star Wars, it's going to be Marvel, it's going to be DC. It's not. My favourite action figure of this year, and the one that I got so excited for, it was the first ever figure of its kind that I reviewed. And so many people didn't expect me to review this figure because I'm not known for getting higher end collectibles. But this year I couldn't resist. Conan from Super 7. I love this figure. From the moment I saw it advertised that it's the classic comic Conan, I was like, I need that in my collection. I used to love reading Conan from Marvel Comics when I was a kid. And the fact they've brought him back recently into Marvel as well as part of the Dark Avengers and stuff, Savage Avengers, that's really cool. And this is based upon that original comic book version of Conan. So I could not resist grabbing this. And I know they released the Arnold version not long after. A lot of people went for that. I didn't like the look of it. This to me is like the definitive Conan. This is what I remember or see Conan to be. So I'm so happy to have this in my collection. Definitely my figure of 2020 is Conan. But guys, what are your thoughts and what are your top 10s for this year? Leave me your top 10s down below. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed making it for you. It took a long time to get all these figures out and do that, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tune in a day or two. I will definitely be doing a disappointments of 2020 in the toy industry and what I wanted to see and what we never got. So I will talk about that in the next video. But guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm your host, Soup. Sorry if I don't see you beforehand. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you.